Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. In this video, I'm going to review Normani's Dopamine album, but before I do want to talk a little bit about Tinashe because Tinashe is having the comeback moment that we love to see. Now, Tinashe has been grinding and making music for well over a decade, and the last time that she's had like a really mainstream popular hit was with her single 2 On. She had a few other songs as well, but 2 On is probably her biggest hit. However, recently, she's been gaining a lot of traction with her song Nasty. Nasty has been going crazy on social media. It went viral on TikTok, and you could thank this video right here. Now, these two dancers, one named Nate's Vibe and Patience J, were dancing to this soca song, and somebody put the audio of Tinashe's Nasty song to this video, and it matched so well, and it was so funny, and people kept resharing this video, and it actually made Tinashe's song very popular to the point that it's now gaining millions of streams every day. It's playing on radio, and this song is actually going to be Tinashe's first solo entry on the Hot 100 charts, which is huge. This is huge for Tinashe for so many reasons, because Tinashe has had her struggles with the industry. She's had her issues with her former label RCA. She didn't get a lot of support on that label. Her music releases were oftentimes pushed back, and also there was a conflict when it came to her creative direction. So she ended up parting ways with the label, and she started doing her own thing independently. And I always felt like this was the best decision she could have ever made, because she works better as an independent artist. She has more freedom. She's able to control her releases. She's able to tour and do whatever she wants without being held up by a label. She can do her own thing, and it's been working for her. And it hasn't necessarily been the easiest journey, because she has to fund a lot of her projects and put in more effort. But one thing Tinashe never did was give up. She has always been consistent, and her consistency over the years has paid off. And this is something I kind of notice with the industry now today. You have some artists who pop off out the blue, but you have other artists who grind for years to get their moment. You see artists like Sabrina Carpenter, who's just now getting her flowers, and she's been recording for almost 10 years. You have people like Victoria Monet, who's been recording for 10 years and writing music for other people, and she's finally getting her moment. And now you have Tinashe, who's been grinding for 10 years, and she's finally getting her flowers that she deserves. And even though the process is hard for these artists, I do appreciate the fact that they're showing people that hard work, dedication, and consistency will take you far. You might not see results right then and there, but in the future, you will see them. So congrats to Tinashe. She deserves everything that she's getting now. Hopefully she has more hits that enter the hot Billboard charts, because I do think she has a lot of good music, a lot of underrated music. So hopefully she has more singles besides Nasty that gets attention. Now I want to talk about Normani's album Dopamine. This has been a highly anticipated album from her fans. It has taken Normani a while to finally deliver her debut album, but she did it, and I'm proud of her. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the album a lot. I really did. This right here is a pure R&B album, and if you love R&B music, you will enjoy this. I promise you. The album is super smooth. It's bold, it's sexy, it's sultry. The production is sonically cohesive and lavishly smooth. I mean, it's a whole vibe. And the album opened up with this heavy hip-hop influenced banger called Big Boy. And surprisingly, I really liked the song. Now, at first, I was a bit taken back. I'm not really crazy about the lyrics because they are overly explicit, but I had to run it back a few times because I'm not gonna lie to you, I like it. I like the cockiness. I like how the song kind of represents where Normani is from. She grew up in Houston. She's originally from New Orleans, but she also grew up in Houston as well. So there were some Houston hip hop references, and also she gave a shout out to Outkast. I thought it was cool and different, and the album opened up very strong to me. I will say the first half of the album had me hooked. Still was a banger. I like All Yours. I love Lights On. Lights On sounds like something Janet Jackson would have sang. Take My Time. That was a fun little up-tempo vibe. Also, Insomnia. Insomnia is actually one of the best songs on the album. The harmonies, the melodies, just beautiful, very brandy coated. Candy Paint, of course, is one of my favorites. It's high tempo, infectious, and I like the fact that she did extra tweaks to this song and made it sound more complete with the vocals. So I like that she did that. I also really like the song Distance. I like that she pushed her vocals a little more on that one. And I like Little Secrets a lot, another up-tempo vibe, kind of like a mid-tempo actually. And Wild Side, of course, is a banger, and I think Wild Side fits perfectly on this album. And I also like the fact that she included a different version of Wild Side. But yeah, there are a lot of positive takeaways I got from listening to this album. It's an album that I personally can play all the way through. I thought it was a very solid debut, but I do have some critiques. And I have to be honest, while I do like the songs on this album, as a listener listening to the album front to back, I will say I wish there was a change of pace at some point. The songs had a similar aura. It was all very mellow, and it created a more darker, sultry, moody feel, which is cool with me because I like songs like that. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I'm a huge fan of artists like Aaliyah and Brandy, because they made that type of music. But with Normani, I wanted her to be a little more versatile. I wanted her to tap into more up-tempo sounds because Normani, in my opinion, does excel doing pop music. I like her as an R&B artist, but I don't want her to deviate from pop music completely. So I would have appreciated it if she actually included at least 2 or 3 more up-tempo songs on this album, just to kind of break up the pacing a little bit and make things a bit more interesting. Also, I do wish she included some more songs on this album too. She had a few unreleased tracks that sounded really good and they would have worked well on this album. Her unreleased song Touch Myself would have worked well on this album. Rocket would have been great on this album. Somebody Else would have also been good. And I would have liked to hear Waves on this album too. I think Waves actually fits the ambience of this album. But Normani did include this song called Tantrums, which is very similar to Waves. I really like this song too, and it leans more into an alternative R&B sound, and I love James Blake's voice on this song. I like it, but dare I say it, I probably prefer Waves over Tantrums. Now, I might change my mind about it in the future, but I would have taken Waves over Tantrums. Also, I don't think Grip needed to be a full song. I think Grip could have worked well as an interlude for Wild Side instead. That's just my opinion. I would have liked if she replaced Grip with an up-tempo song. Also, 159 featuring Gunna. While I really like this song, when I listened to the album in full, I kind of realized that the song wasn't really necessary. I didn't think it added anything to the album. It didn't take anything away from the album, but I felt like it just kind of blended in with the other songs. It didn't really stand out to me. But yeah, those are just a few of my critiques. Overall, I still think the album is very, very solid. I give it a 7 out of 10. It has good replay value. It's definitely the type of album I would play when I'm in a certain mood. And I like how intentional Normani was with the direction of her album. The album was not all over the place. It was very cohesive, and I thought it was a solid debut. Please listen to the album and support it if you haven't. I do hope the album performs well, but I don't like how RCA marketed this album at all, honestly. They didn't really give it the best promotion. She still hasn't released a video. I don't know. I just don't like the way RCA handled this album, but I'm glad Normani was able to release something, and I think the songs have good replay value. It definitely has good staying power in my opinion, because years from now, you could still go back and listen to an album like this and still appreciate it and enjoy it. So even if she doesn't get the big streams out the gate, I feel like over time her songs will grow and people will appreciate it more. But yeah, that is my overall review on Dopamine. I give it a 7 out of 10. I like it, y'all. I do. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.